I've seen this thing called like the keto nasi lemak.
The problem with nasi lemak is not really the rice itself. The main thing that makes nasi lemak less healthy is mostly the fat content.
Clean eating has become a trendy word. Do you think it's sustainable?
A lot of people ignore the fact that actually processed foods can be super nutritious. If someone has to practice clean eating, there are a lot of food you cannot take. So this is not a sustainable diet. It can potentially lead to obsessive behavior.
Hi guys, this is your friend Bella and welcome back to a brand new episode of Pieority Insider. We all know the struggle, whether it's a delicious bowl of laksa or that crispy roti canai, they are hard to resist. And boy, they do come with a side of guilt. And I did some research on our topic today. I found out that nearly 50% of Malaysians are classified as obese or overweight. This is a serious issue. But do we need to give up our favorite dishes? I'm thrilled to have a talented dietitian with us here. She's known for her healthy and easy to follow recipes. She also dish out healthy grocery tips as well as dining out tips. And she's here to help us figure out whether we can enjoy our classic kopitiam dishes as well as Malaysian treats without feeling the guilt about it. So grab your kopi, sit back and see whether we can have our nasi lemak and still eat it too. Say hi to Joey.
Hi everyone.
Okay, Joey, first thing first. If you were a Malaysian local dish, nasi lemak or laksa?
Definitely laksa, because laksa have so many variations. And nasi lemak is just nasi lemak.
Okay.
And I have different mood. Laksa, I just feel more creative and fun.
So it means that if you're feeling a little bit sexy today, you'll be a Thai laksa because it's more creamy. And then if you are feeling a little bit more laid back, you'll be Assam laksa because it's a bit thinner. Yeah, but joke aside, right? So how I get to know you is also a little bit background for our audience. So I actually slide a DM into her Instagram message and I came across Shell Makes Food, Michelle, her profile, and then I saw that you guys were collaborating. So I was clicking in and then I thought, oh, she's a dietitian. And then maybe like all her recipes that came out. I mean, Michelle makes really good recipes and good comfort food. Yeah. For you, Joey, it's more on the like healthier, like I would say more balanced. So I know that whatever that you create, it's not like the mundane recipe that we get, like the Western style, is more Asian inspired. So it's something new for me too. And then I was like, since I want to talk about Malaysian food and then like Asian food, then why not like I just like DM you and ask whether you're interested to come on like to talk about this. Yeah.
That's nice. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have you here to talk about this. And I think that why are we here today is also we want to provide regular Malaysians like ourselves with practical knowledge as well as actionable steps that people can practice in their daily life. So our topic today is, can we still have our favorite Malaysian treats and not feel bad about it? So, as a fellow Malaysian, what is your favorite local Malaysian treat?
Depending on my mood, savory or sweet. If for savory, definitely the whale biscuit.
The
pasar malam snack. Celumping.
Oh, that's my favorite too.
You have no idea.
I never know what it's called, so I'll just be like, the white one.
Yeah, for savory one, because that one is like the umami and the saltiness.
Oh, okay. So if we are talking about health trend in Malaysia, right? You know, we both shared a passion for food and all things healthy. And lately, I've seen this thing called like the keto nasi lemak. There's this healthy rice trend where they swap out white rice for quinoa, cauliflower rice, as well as brown rice. And what do you think about this? Like, does it really make the dish healthier and help us to enjoy our Malaysian treat in a healthier way?
When you look into the Malaysian dietary guideline, one of the key recommendations would be to consume more whole grain food. Whole grains would be things like quinoa, brown rice, brown noodles, and also like whole wheat bread, these kind of things, which are all considered as whole grain. Reason why is that the difference between white rice and brown rice, the outer layer of the rice is removed, but the nutrients are all packed at the outer layer. So it's definitely bring more nutrients into that dish. But the problem with nasi lemak is not really the rice itself. The main thing that makes nasi lemak less healthy is mostly the fat content, because a lot of coconut milk is used to make the rice fragrant, right? And also a lot of sambal, depending on how much you put lah, and also the side dish, mainly the fried chicken. So because a lot of nasi lemak is not like the nasi lemak back then, it's just one boiled egg, right? Now we have like a lot more components. Yeah, so that makes nasi lemak very calorie dense. Yeah.
If you are going to create a keto nasi lemak, how would you add on to create a healthier version of a nasi lemak in your way?
Generally, I don't really like the idea of labeling as keto. I don't really use this kind of claims, this kind of terms in my recipe as well. Yeah, so if I were to design a low-carb nasi lemak, then definitely the portion size of the rice will be controlled. Maybe just reduce the portion for a bit, and then just some tweaks will do. You don't have to change the grains completely. Just add maybe more cucumbers, maybe add some egg. If you were to prepare your own protein, maybe you can make like an air fryer rendang chicken, for example, to reduce the fat content.
Nice.
And you still get your protein.
I mean, that's the way. That's how we enjoy local Malaysian dish, the authentic way, but yet we just swap out the portion.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. That's a good news. Because, sometimes when you swap out the white rice, sometimes it just changes
the texture.
The texture and also the traditional essence to it. Okay, so next question. What is your guilty pleasure snack? And if you were to use a local fruit or local Malaysian ingredients to create a new super snack, what would it be?
I don't know whether this is Malaysian enough, but Malaysia do produce cacao chocolate, which is very underrated. And usually when I go to like cafes, I like to order single origin chocolate drinks. And some of them actually serve chocolate from like Pahang and like somewhere in Selangor. And you can really taste like the flavor, not just the sweetness to it. So I feel like it's very underrated. If I were to create the super snack, because I also like orange chocolate, so maybe I will mix like our local chocolate with maybe limau.
Ooh,
with something interesting.
That's interesting. But then you mentioned about you love to order the single origin chocolate drink at the cafes, but doesn't it comes with a lot of like sugar? Usually the chocolate powder, it comes with the sugar itself, right?
I think they sold in powder, so most of the time it's unsweetened, then only the barista will add in the sugar in.
Okay.
Yeah, and the flavor wise, I feel like we have a lot of like different herbs and spices and maybe like things like limau, that kind of flavors to explore. Yeah, as compared to like Western countries, already have a lot of flavors, but I feel like Southeast Asian flavors is still underexplored.
So you create a lot of recipes that is more Asian and local inspired. If I were to ask you to design a health plate using only Malaysian local dish or Malaysian street food, what would be your top picks?
So Malaysian Healthy Guideline developed by MOH, Ministry of Health. It's also called Suku Separuh or quarter half plate. So the first quarter, right, would be carbohydrate food, and the second quarter will be protein food, and then another half plate will be vegetables and fruits. If I were to choose street food to put into the plate, the carbohydrate part, I will choose char kway teow. In char kway teow, they also have shrimp inside. Shrimp is a good source of protein, but sometimes the protein is not enough, so maybe add more shrimps to it so that will fit into the protein quarter. Then for the part where you put fruits and vegetables, there's also not a lot of vegetables in char kway teow, right? So maybe to pair with rojak, fruit rojak.
Oh, that's so creative. That's actually a good idea. I've never thought about this because the only time when I like try to eat healthier is just like I look for healthier cafes and then like people who actually replace some of the ingredients with some other ingredients, but I've never actually thought about how I can better utilize what we have in our Malaysian street foods and maybe change like
Yeah, it's
portion.
actually about the like making some minor adjustment rather than today I want to eat healthy, so I'm going for a salad bowl.
What you suggested is pretty it's easy for our regular Malaysians to adjust to it. It's not asking them to entirely replace it with like something else, but just change a little bit of the proportion. Do you think Malaysians prioritize taste over health in terms of food? And do you think it's changing in comparison to before?
I think it's very hard to change the taste buds because Malaysia is food heaven and you can't just change so much about someone's taste bud. It's like people are already used to it. But I feel like people are getting more aware of the health side of things ever since COVID happened. Like in terms of increasing the health awareness, a lot of effort has to be done by government. Do you know that Malaysian healthcare is super cheap, like one of the cheapest in the world?
Yeah.
But government is spending too much money on like treating diseases that are preventable. So I feel like the approach have to be adjusted a bit to spend more money to invest more on preventative approach.
I agree.
So that, for example, right, our fruits and vegetables is actually getting more and more expensive, and like some street foods is cheaper and tastes better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think government can like, for example, make fruits and vegetables cheaper so that this can encourage more people to consume more fruits and vegetables, and also like to fix the public infrastructure like basketball court, football court, so people will be more willing to exercise.
And then when it comes to treating diseases, I think it's more costly to treat a disease
Yeah, definitely.
than to like put in a little bit more effort in every day to like be a little bit healthier. Definitely like we wish that our government could put in more like attention and effort in this, and it would be more encouraging to people if there are better environment and infrastructure or community that help us to do more activities like this. Yeah. So I recognize you as a social media influencer as well. You're very successful. But I also would want to hear your opinion. Do you think the idea of social media influencers have a positive or negative impact on society's idea of healthy eating and dieting?
I think it depends. Like, because of social media, people are definitely getting more aware of how to eat healthy and all. But then people who are more vulnerable, say like youngsters, teenagers, and people who generally have lower self-esteem, lacks confidence, and needs more validation, they are more prone to being trapped by influencers who promote quick fixes. Yeah, so because the influencers have the body they want, so they will trust everything they say.
Then in that case, how can we spot red flags or misinformation from like social media, like influencers or those that label themselves as a dietitian or like nutritionist? How do you differentiate who are legit or who are not?
To be a dietitian, you must undergo 4 years of undergraduate degree, whereas nutritionist, sometimes it depends, but in Malaysia it's a regulated term where only people who study nutrition undergrad can be a nutritionist, whereas there are a lot of health coaches that didn't undergo a proper education in nutrition. In fact, they can just have like 3 months to 6 months of education and call themselves a nutrition expert. Yeah, so if you were to find out like what are the red flags in this kind of accounts, it's usually those who promise quick result. And these people usually tend to demonize food ingredient list, like certain preservatives, like certain additives in the ingredient list. People who use like inflammatory, like those buzzwords to get people into trusting what they say. Yeah, these are some of the red flags. If you're already practicing the simple things like having regular meals, practicing portion control, getting enough sleep, managing your stress, having 4 to 5 serving of vegetables and fruits per day, you don't have to worry so much about like this kind of like preservatives and additives.
You're also a social media influencer, so I'm pretty sure you do follow other influencers who is in the same industry as you. And who is your favorite?
I have a lot of favorite, but Ziling Nutrition, do you know her? She's a nutritionist who holds a nutrition degree and also master. Her content is very similar to mine. She uses a lot of Malaysian herb and spices in her recipes and very practical tips. She's like the queen of microwave because she cooks a lot using microwave, like very easy recipes to follow. Yeah, and Adele is another one. She do mostly consultation and coaching services, but she has a lot of like static posts that encourage healthy eating and like simple myth debunks kind of contents. Yeah, there are quite a few dietitian and nutritionists who promote healthy eating in a realistic and sustainable way. I do collab with them, like both of them and another two dietitian to come up with the ebook recently. Yeah, so to help people to understand the fundamentals of nutrition better, so they can apply the nutrition knowledge, so people can get to know more from that.
And where can they download the ebook?
It's on my link in bio. Yeah, so just click into the link, then you can buy.
Great. So check out the link because I mean, from our conversation today, I could understand that the fundamental is really what builds, like that is the basis of a healthier lifestyle. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on like trying to get onto a healthier lifestyle. So I think we can do it in a more practical way, improve our knowledge and just make some small modification to our everyday life. Clean eating has become a trendy word. Do you think it's sustainable?
So let's just explain what people perceive clean eating is. Clean eating is usually a diet that only choose whole foods or minimally processed foods. So a lot of people ignore the fact that actually processed foods can be super nutritious, very healthy as well. For example, like frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables is a processed food because they, after harvesting, it undergo a process called blanching to retain the nutrients. So you still get the nutrients, and a lot of like canned food, like canned fish, like canned tomatoes, they are also processed food and also very nutrient dense. And whole wheat bread can be another example as well. It's carbohydrates, but it actually packed with a lot of fiber, a lot of protein. If someone has to practice clean eating, there are a lot of food you cannot take. So this is not a sustainable diet, and it's very restrictive, and it can potentially lead to obsessive behavior.
It's true. Because just like every time when I think about if I'm going on a clean diet, does that mean I cannot go to kopitiam or go to restaurants and eat out anymore? That is so devastating.
Yeah.
And I'm always curious, do dietitians secretly judge people when they eat out at kopitiam or restaurants, or do you just let it slide?
I think I don't really judge people's food.
Oh.
But I judge my own food and I judge the option on the menu. Like, let's say like it's a set meal, right? I would say, why don't they just put a bit more vegetables in, or like just do some adjustment to it?
Yeah, and then the uncle would be like, oh, I'm giving you more prawns. My cost is so high. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to having like the day where I get to see like Joey Kopitiam, where you have like the healthy.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah, I would totally go to that like every day. I will support you every day.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it would be nice to have this concept store where it's a
you can do the
kopitiam style inspired.
modification based on what you need.
Exactly, because a lot of healthier options these days, people would be concerned about the cost and all these things, and yet taste is also another concern. So if we can have the perfect world where we get to enjoy the taste and yet at the same time we have the healthier choice, then it would be best, you know.
We can definitely do that.
Yeah, I think that this would be even better than the idea of the chocolate limau, you know. So before we wrap things up, I would like to ask you one last question that really sums up what we are all about here today. So I started Pieority with the idea that I want to redefine what people think about a rich life is. For us, it's about healthy, wealthy, and a life that is full of joy. So what is your definition of living a rich life means to you?
For me, is I want to live a comfortable life, and I don't have to be like super rich, but I have the luxury of time to be with my family and friends, connecting, and have the luxury of time to exercise to maintain my health, because health is wealth. And I remember seeing a post that I remember so much that says, you have 99 problems until you have a health problem. Then you only have one problem. I always joke with my friends that I want to be able to play with my grandkids pain-free. After watching the show called, Netflix show called Live to 100, where they feature a lot of people who live a long age, and like how they actually live a fulfilling life and be able to like just live happily and pain-free, and that really inspired me.
Because I just saw a news where it shows that 102 years old granny did a skydiving on her birthday.
Wow.
So, I mean, it really like inspired me to think about the part where I want to be old and healthy, and yet I have the financial freedom to do whatever I want to do. You know, that to me is a rich life.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joey, for such an
you.
interesting conversation, and also giving us some new insights on how we can balance our love for food with a healthy lifestyle. And please continue to create more recipes for us. And for those who are watching this or listening to this, I hope you're walking away with some new insights and new knowledge that you can apply in your life, and perhaps feeling a little less guilty about your next favorite Malaysian dish. Also, comment below, what do you think about the idea of chocolate limau? And maybe we will make it happen in the next episode. So remember to subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss anything. Here's Bella sending in love your way. See you soon.